Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh, Kamala. Let me tell you folks, Kamala Harris isn't having a good one. She is in the polling data, temporarily. Again, I'm going to preface a lot of these videos by saying that, but if you're actually paying attention to what's going on in terms of the public conversation, Kamala Harris is not having a good time at all. In fact, I'd argue Kamala Harris over the last week or so has been having her name dragged through the mud. It has not been a good week of press for Kamala. You know, I guess the question remains, is Megan Thee Stallion shaking what her mama gave her on stage next to Kamala Harris going to be enough to offset all of this? I don't know, I guess we'll have to see. Kamala Harris is getting absolutely BTFO'd on social media. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so obviously the Democrats wanted the party to continue. They wanted the conversation over the next few months to just be Kamala is great, Kamala is great. She has no faults, she is just perfect. That's, I don't know, kind of their weird assumption, I guess, or their weird expectation, is that somehow that would have happened, but obviously what's happening is quite different. No, the conversation seems to be mostly revolving around the idea that Kamala Harris is a complete fraud. And it's not just happening in right-wing circles or in the center, it's not just us having that conversation. No, in fact, the left seems to be having the same conversation. The TYT doesn't seem so convinced.
Now, I will say though, again, what no other show will say, on the other hand, Democrats and Kamala Harris should not make the mistake of going around saying, you have to vote for her because she's a black woman. That would be a giant mistake because that also turns people off.
It does, yeah.
I have to vote for her because of she's a certain race and gender? No, I don't. So the Democrats should not do identity politics. They should let the Republicans do their toxic form of identity politics and take the win. Will they be able to resist? I don't know. I already see groups like white men for Harris, white women for Harris. Like, what are we doing, guys? But like, it's okay to be for Kamala Harris without stating your race. Do I have to do Turks who are not Turkish citizens, Muslims who are now atheists for Harris? Just be for Harris without doing weirdo stuff like that. It doesn't help.
Yeah, and it's also about the messaging within those groups, right? Like, I was a little critical of those groups and then I got pushed back. Oh, well, you should listen to the conversations, like the substantive conversations that are happening. But typically, especially in that white women for Harris group, the conversations are white women bad, white women like destroy country, use your privilege to promote Harris. Like that's.
And other online progressive networks seem to be having a little bit of a similar reaction.
Kamala Harris is renouncing every progressive position she's ever held, one by one. Just in case anyone still had an iota of hope that she might be better than Joe Biden on policy, Harris has spent the last few days making it clear that she is indeed running as just another centrist Democrat. Her attack to the right started on July 26th, when a campaign official told The Hill that Harris will not seek to ban fracking if she's elected.
Like I told you, everybody seems to be having the same conversation. People are sitting down at the dinner table, they're sitting down at restaurants, sitting at the bar top, drinking a beer, and it keeps popping up. Kamala Harris is a phony, she's a fraud, a fake. You know, the expectation from Democrats is that progressives are just gonna magically fall in line now because a woman POC was selected as the candidate. Therefore, all progressives automatically line up to vote for the candidate. And you know, to a certain extent that may be true. A certain chunk of people have been MK Ultra'd to that freaking degree where it's that simple to get them to go and vote. But some people have principles and morals, and some people are feeling played. It's not just the fact that the Democrats are trying to avoid an open convention. They don't want actual Democratic challenge to their anointment of Kamala Harris. It's not just that, it's also this complete 180. I mean, we could go through the list, but we don't have to because we've done it in 3 or 4 videos recently. But Kamala Harris has made so many extremely far left pledges, like banning fracking, for instance, increasing estate taxes and corporate taxes, bail reform, defunding the police. I'm not going to list them all again, but you pretty much get the point. She's made all those promises, and now all of a sudden, she's done a 180 on all of those stances. Could you imagine that? I mean, I actually cannot process it. From a fundamental perspective, imagine a person walks up to you and says, I will do this, and that for you. All you gotta do is give me $50 and vote for me so I could be put in this position. You give the person $50, vote for them, and then once they get elected and it's time for them to be in a position to move to the next position, they've completely disregarded you and all of the promises that they've made you. I mean, that is a direct betrayal. Kamala Harris has betrayed millions of her own voters, and the conversation is obviously reflecting that. They make a lot of claims, but they simply don't live up to those claims. You know, the Democrats take a puritanical approach to everything. They're always on their frickin' high horse. We are so much better and morally superior to all these filthy MAGA chud Republicans. That tends to be the tone, the general demeanor, the dynamic. But again, they never actually live up to that standard, now do they? And it kind of skews the narrative or hurts their narrative a little bit. Let's continue to cover this bad week that Kamala Harris has been enduring. The Democrats, including Kamala Harris and her allies, are always lecturing us on how bad of people we are and how good they are, always with the finger pointing and finger wagging, but it seems as though, as per usual, as expected, they've got some dirty laundry as well and some skeletons in the closet. Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, recently said this.
Let's talk about masculinity for a moment. Has being second gentleman changed your own view of perceived gender roles or what it means to be a man?
This is something I've thought about a lot and something I've spoken about a lot. There's too much of toxicity, masculine toxicity out there, and we've kind of confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine.
There's so much toxic masculinity out there. I think that's interesting context because that's kind of the branding of the Kamala Harris campaign and the Democrats as we currently know them. We are so much more morally superior. There's so much toxic masculinity out there. And when I refer to toxic masculinity, of course, I am referring to all of my political opponents. Of course, this never applies to me, the Democrat, the good Democrat. That's pretty much what Doug Emhoff meant. But now we're learning that Doug Emhoff cheated on his ex-wife with his nanny and impregnated her. Freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger style.
Now, according to the Daily Mail and other sources, the second gentleman reportedly strayed from his then-wife, Kirsten, with a blonde nanny named Najan Naylor, who taught at a private school attended by the couple's 2 children. That affair allegedly happened over a decade and a half ago and by some accounts resulted in a pregnancy. A close friend with direct knowledge of the affair and pregnancy told the Daily Mail that no, Naylor did not keep the baby.
The Democrats are always going on and on and on about Stormy Daniels this and Melania that, when the whole Stormy Daniels thing could have easily just been an extortion racket being run on the former president. They're always trying to stain the other side and pretend as if their bed sheets are crystal white, but of course they live in a filthy dungeon now, don't they? Holy frickin' moly. It's been a bad week for Kamala Harris. Let's see if she could continue to handle the heat. You know, the reality is the election just started. Political rhetoric, ads, attack angles targeting Kamala Harris haven't even really been developed yet. And well, what do you think's been happening over the last couple of weeks? Well, exactly that. The internet's been completely inundated with flashback clips of Kamala Harris, and you know this stuff can't be good for her campaign. I mean, she is just insufferable.
You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
Yeah. You know, the power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge someone with a misdemeanor, the lowest level offense possible. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus. All because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. It's an incredible amount of power.
Gotta stay woke, kids. And that second clip, I mean, I think it pretty much speaks for itself. Is this really the type of person that you want anywhere near the levers of power? What an absolutely horrible look. And they call Trump a wannabe dictator. Trump said that he was gonna be a dictator on day one, in complete jest referring to undoing Joe Biden's executive orders. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris said what you just saw on clip. Holy frickin' moly. How is her campaign to last? I mean, the edits that are hitting the internet right now, The Kamala Harris campaign must hate it when people play videos like this. Oh, I better not play this totally badass edit from MazeOnX.com. Oh no, I definitely shouldn't. No, scratch that, of course. Let's play the friggin' clip.
There are reports that say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president. Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. That Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
The campaign meme warfare mobilization is in full effect. Kamala Harris didn't even enter the ring. Let's see if she can handle the heat. I mean, we certainly know Trump can. Trump can handle getting shot in the face and he still gets up, ready to frickin' rock and roll. Let's see if Kamala Harris has the energy. She's certainly a weak candidate, we know it, the Democrats know it, the pressure is on, the clips are spreading, the lies are being exposed. Let's see if the media can keep all those skeletons neatly, tightly packed in Kamala Harris's bedroom closet. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.